welcome to the Festival of Storytellers.
I can't tell you how excited I am to be on right now. It's been a couple of weeks of excitement getting prepared, and I've done a lot of things in my life, but this has got to be close to the top.
Thank you, Reader's Magnet, and thank you, John, for putting this forth and taking the chance on our authors in presenting this out to the world.
I've enjoyed this immensely, Joanne.
Ellie, so have I. Thank you for who you are, and thank you, Reader's Magnet. You all are beautiful, and you've worked so very hard, and we are blessed.
We are.
I thank everybody that's involved with this process, because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers. We thank Reader's Magnet and everybody that's involved. I love Reader's Magnet. They say, we share your stories with the world.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me today for the Festival of Storytellers. My name is Clarence Causby. It's my second year doing this, and I'm so happy to share all my books and my experiences of writing with you all. The first book I published was Soul Exchange, and then the other two books that I published this year is Erebus the Ranger and Talking to the Devil. So I have one more book coming out later this year. It's called Armageddon, and basically I wanted to make a challenge for myself and try to publish out 3 books. Needless to say, I was able to do it, but it was rough. It was really, really rough, but I had so much fun doing it. I'm pretty much addicted to writing now. But I've taken a break, a 2 to 3 month break of writing, just so I can just relax a little bit, give my mind a break and everything. But even that's hard right now because I want to get back to writing so bad. And so basically what I want to so the first question is by Maya Sanchez. Does writing energize or exhaust you? It energizes me. It does, because when I was writing Erebus the Ranger, there was a day when I was matter of fact, it was a Saturday. I started around 11 o'clock in the morning, and I was just so into writing that I didn't even pay attention to that until the next thing I knew it was 7 o'clock at night. And then I just kept writing until it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I went to sleep, woke up, and then I reread what I wrote, and I literally had to delete a whole page because I couldn't even understand what I wrote, and it made no sense at all. But it definitely energizes me. I love writing. I can get so lost into it, within the characters, how they're feeling, the emotions, the environment, how the weather is in the books, how someone should be acting towards somebody else, what is being said, how the person should be responding to that question or something, or whatever the person may be saying. So basically, it energizes me so much, because I think with me, I feel like I'm kind of like an author and a director, because even though all my pictures, I can see my walls and everything else, in my house, when I start to write, I don't see anything. I see pitch black, and I just see all the characters come up, and I see how they're supposed to look, the color of their hair, If they're tall, short, whatever, if they're having weapons, if they don't have weapons, if they're carrying a book or a stick or something like that. Like, I just am so into it. So we give you guys a little bit of a brief synopsis about like the book. So Erebus, the Ranger, is pretty much a book about where you got like this king, and he was like a kind-hearted king. He was a great king, and he loved his people. He really did. He wanted everyone, all of like his people to get along in the kingdom of Sarnis, and so he wanted everybody to defend themselves and just to like be friendly with each other and work hard and just to be able to protect themselves no matter what. And then one day the king died, and then we got taken over by King Thaddeus. And what was it? Oh, Hyun Junjae says, "What anime are you into right now, and what is the genre of the book?" So basically, last week I said I wanted to write a few books, kind of like into anime, and so basically, the anime I'm into right now was, for those that may know, was Bleach, but then it came back and it was called the Thousand Year Blood War. Absolutely amazing. I love the art in it, like, and just so happy that it finally came back, because I think like many other Bleach watchers kind of was waiting for a few years, thinking that maybe the anime would have been brought back, but the manga kept going on, and then nothing happened. Then all of a sudden, now it's back. So like, I'm really excited about that. I'm into that one, and I'm also into, what is it? It's called I've somehow gotten stronger when I've improved my farm related skills. That's a good anime too. So the book that I want to write was a few books that I want to write as anime kind of related. It's one is going to be a little bit of horror, but it's going to be like an isekai. So what most people may not understand, an isekai is when the character is like summoned or teleported or brought to another world, to either in like a where they go to a new world, and they can pretty much do like in like role playing game where they can like level up their skill points, level up skills, level up their mastery, stuff like that. Or they just go, they can either help out like the heroes or help out the villains. So that's pretty much what an isekai is. So mine, the one that I want to write is part of an isekai. The second one, I have like a lot of that I want to write in there, probably series two, was just full on action. And this one will take a little bit from Bleach, only because there's there's going to be something that's going to happen in that book, where if you notice within the very first few episodes, when Ichigo goes to Soul Society, that there's something that happened, and it kind of explains why what was going on. So they'll have like a little bit of pieces of like Bleach, maybe Dragon Ball Z, not really sure, but it'll definitely have a lot of like anime qualifications to that one and the other one as well. Plus, I'm going to do something different and new with these new books too. I'm very excited about it. I was talking with my friend who did all three covers of my books, and he's doing like all my book covers for me. We have something great in store and planned. His name is Arnaldo Rosado. So we have something very special for everybody, like with the books that I'm going to be writing out soon. Oh, but as I was saying about Erebus, is that the original king had died. This tyrant came in called King Thaddeus. He had his right-hand man, which is called the Torturer. And basically the Torturer would go around killing people. He'd be the one to kick people out of their houses and make them go into a section which they made called the slums. And the people that lived in the slums were called the slum rats. So basically had this family, kicked them out, had to live in the slums. And so basically they went to the Wolf's Fang, which is a tavern who's owned by like this amazing character who I love. I love her character, and her name is Helga. And you find out that the Myrna, which her name is Myrna, the wife, and the husband's name is Darius. And Myrna is pregnant, has a son, and as the son grows up, which his name is Erebus, he goes, like, gets abused by the guards, he gets beaten up, bullied by all the kids who still live near the castle. And he finds that one day, like, one night actually that the torturer comes into the tavern, kills one of his friends. He's absolutely distraught. He almost dies himself, and then he has like a feeling of guilt. Like he blames himself for not being strong enough. He blames pretty much everybody for not really doing anything, but everybody kept telling him that the torturer is very dangerous. He's pretty much almost impossible to kill. Him that, people have tried before, people have left with scars, with severe injuries, if not dead. So, he just plans his whole life just around vengeance. And people was telling him, like, listen, you don't want to go down this path because it's a dark path, and it's a path that will forever change you and you will never be the same ever again. And, he just didn't really want to really be bothered by hearing what anybody else had to say, because he was just so determined and really didn't care about what anybody said. All he knew that he just wanted revenge. He just wanted to kill the torturer, wanted to kill pretty much everybody that like hurt his family. He didn't really care about himself too much, but he was on the path where, he didn't want nobody to hurt his family, didn't want nobody to hurt his friends anymore. He just wanted to be like the protector of everybody, like in Sarnis, from like the people of like the Wolf's Fang to his family. He just wanted to be rid of the torturer, King Thaddeus, all of them. But it's not an easy journey for him. And in this book, you find out that he's very immature. He's still not really sure like what's going on. He's still learning different things, trying to really, fit in, trying to like gain different skills to, help him on his path to like, take down the torturer, take down King Thaddeus. And like there's a point in time where I think he wants to kind of give up, but then he remembers that he can't. And he tries to remember everything that he's been taught, everything that he's learned from his family, his friends, and everything that his friends have told him, about like not going down a dark path, is pretty much coming back and always like haunting him like at every turn, like every time, you find out that what's this? Ooh, that's good. If Erebus would become a movie, who would be the actor to play Erebus? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I would say because Erebus really isn't that big. Like he's toned, like he's cut. I would have to say, if anybody, it would probably have to be Michael B. Jordan, because Michael B. Jordan is amazing. I love Michael B. Jordan's like movies that he's in. I think he would fit it because he's still, like he still has like that young looking face and everything. So I would definitely love for him to play it. I think that'd be kind of cool if he played it, because I would love to like all my books to become either like movies, like live action movies, and if some of the anime books that I want to write became like anime movies or in mangas and stuff like that, I would love it. But I would think I would like Michael B. Jordan to be one. Who else? Probably Denzel, probably Sofia Vergara, I would say. Her, probably even Chris Hemsworth too, because I think like they're amazing. And let's see who else. Henry Cavill, I think would be amazing. I think he would be absolutely fantastic for like one of the roles. Like I would love it. Like like all main actors and everything. I think there would be a pretty good cast. I would have to think about others and everything for like some of the roles, but yeah, I think as right now, I think those would be the ones I would really want to play in the roles of Erebus. Though I think for the other ones, I'm not really sure. I haven't really thought about it, but it was funny too because I remember last year I had got asked a question like about if my books became movies, who would I want to play Soul Exchange and the character Xavier, and I said too that I wanted Chadwick Boseman, but he died, which sucked and horrible. May he rest in peace. But I wanted him so bad. So if that book went into a movie, I wouldn't even know like who to pick. But you can never tell. I don't know right now, but when time comes, I'm pretty sure I'd have somebody in mind. But definitely though. And about going back to Erebus was that like most of the stuff kind of comes up where he's like, oh, the person was right. Maybe I shouldn't have done this, but he's so stuck in his ways where he just don't want to listen to anybody. He doesn't care, and he just like sets out on a course. I would like to make Erebus like into a series. Like most of my books, I can see like being series, some just like being by themselves. But what I would like to do too is there's a book that I know that I thought about in a while would actually be connected with Erebus too. But that's kind of what I want to do along the lines of like some of my books. Is kind of interact them with like like other books, and like their universes. So I'm definitely like excited about that. Hi, Amira. How you doing? Is it hard to end a story? Yes, yes, it is. I think it's hard to end a story because as you're going along, you're so into it. But that's how I had to be with Erebus, though, was because I kept writing and writing and wanted just to keep writing like nonstop. But then I thought about I don't want the book to be too long because I feel that if the book is too long, people are going to lose interest in it. So it has to be like a cutting off point, and I think from like where I cut off at Erebus, I think it was a good point to kind of like cut it off at. But I definitely think it's hard to end a story. For me, like it's hard to end a story. It's hard for me to come up with names for the books, and it's hard for me to come up with like names for like characters. Then sometimes like I'll just get like an idea just like that. So, but yeah, like that's definitely hard to me. Like most some other books that I have now, I don't even know where they should end because I haven't written them. Then like when I write a book, I kind of know like the beginning, the middle, and the end of the book. So it's kind of hard. Then when I start writing, and it's like, oh, maybe I should add a little bit more. And that's what I had to do with Erebus was because I stopped writing. I'm like, oh, this should be good. But then I go back. I'm like, oh, let me add this in there too. Let me add this. Let me kind of have it all kind of make sense so people don't be wondering so much. So I think it's a lot that goes into like writing a books. Like how to begin, where it should lead up to, and then how to, how it should end. Because I feel like some of the books kind of like the past that you see like in video games or in movies like Indiana Jones, where you see, or you're on a cliff here and you see like another cliff there, and you don't know sure how to get to it, but then all the pieces start to fall into place. It's either an invisible path, you can just kind of walk across, but everything kind of like comes together. But like I enjoy it though. I enjoy it a lot, but yeah, it's definitely hard and especially like when you're really into it. And same thing with like talking to the devil. I wasn't really sure how I was going to do that because talking to the devil is about a person who just wants to ask God, like that he wants to talk to the devil because he's fed up with the devil's foolishness on why he's doing this, and so God's like, all right, fine. So he tells Lucifer, like, listen, go talk to Gary Winscombe, which is the main character of the book. He said, talk to him. He said, but you can talk to him, but you have to. But there's two conditions. You cannot kill him whatsoever, and you cannot lie to him. Whatever he asks you, you have to tell him the truth. So was kind of a hard, kind of like was a conversation piece. It shouldn't be too long. It shouldn't be too short. Hi, Danielle. Did any of your books where the plot came from one of your dreams while you were sleeping? No, actually, most of the books that I get, that I write, are either inspirations from either movies, video games, anime, or inspirations from like either what I'm going through now or what I'm feeling at the present time or what I've held in like deep inside, like emotional wise from like years. But now if you take books like Soul Exchange or Talking to the Devil and even Armageddon, like it was weird when we used to work at this audiobook company. I was home from work and I just kept having just kept seeing like images in my head, and I kind of knew where it's kind of like leading to when I saw the images. I was like, no, I just thought it was like a regular thought. You know how you get like these thoughts where you're like, yeah, whatever. And so that happened for a few days. I told my mom about it. She was just like, boy, that's God's trying to tell you that you need to write a book about this. I'm like, okay. And that's kind of when I started to like really like writing. And so same thing with Talking to the Devil. Like my last job when I was a custodian, I was cleaning like an office and everything. And all of a sudden I heard a voice that says Talking to the Devil. I'm just like, huh? Talk to the devil. I'm like, what? And like after about like 3 to 4 minutes in, I'm like, oh, it's a story. And then things started going like piece by piece. And I kind of like started getting like, okay, I know how it's supposed to begin. I know how it's supposed to be in the middle. But as far as the ending goes, I wasn't really sure. So I wasn't really sure. I'm like, well, how long should the conversation be? How short should it be, or whatever like that. But that one was short, and Armageddon, to the one that's coming out this year. Uh, that one came to me too. That one came to me the same way Soul Exchange did. I was at work, and then all of a sudden I was just walking along, and I'm like, oh, okay, the Four Horsemen, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then the thought left, and then it came back again. I'm like, all right, no problem, God. I got you, no problem. I'll write a book about it, and that's how it all happened too. Now that one was a little bit easier to kind of like finish off, because when I wrote that book, when I wrote Armageddon, I was kind of like referencing like Revelations to that, and I was kind of seeing where different things fell in line with like the seals and the horsemen and all of that. So that was kind of like my little roadmap to do Armageddon. So once I got to the end, I'm like, okay, that's the end, and that was the end of it. But yeah, that's pretty much like where I get all my inspirations from, is either from movies, games, music, how I'm feeling or whatever. But then like book, like you would never hear me strictly say like, oh, I'm a Christian writer, because I really don't know how to write a Christian book. Even though Soul Exchange, Talking to the Devil, and Armageddon, I always say that God gives me those like the ideas and the gifts behind that, and that's the only way I know how to write those books. So, and like you, like anyone else make me believe otherwise. Did you get how do you make it different? Hi, Vanessa. Thank you for the question. So it's not. So what I do is I don't take like the whole full thing. Like when I did Erebus, I'm like, oh, like that had like a kind of a cool storyline. I'm like, I kind of want to do like a role playing type storyline, but do I want a tank, being like a sword and shield, like a knight or so? Do I want to be, you know, I stopped thinking from like gaming terms of like tank, DPS, support, to like, do I want like a knight? Do I want, what do I want? Do I want a thief? Do I want, what exactly? And I'm like, oh, I want a ranger. And so that's how like I got it from that. Or from movies, like I'll take like be like an aspect of it. I'm just like, oh, okay. But then like however, like if they go in like a certain way, then I'll take that one and completely change it all the way around and do like something else. Whereas, and I'll add like different details within like movies, like maybe like, oh, this person went down to, Dubai and found this person, and they fell in love this way, and you know, then the next thing you know, that person's an assassin. Whereas, and I'll be like, oh, person was like, this person had a kid became assassin, then he went to Dubai to find the target, stuff like that. So that's kind of how I kind of differentiate between like what I should write, what I shouldn't write. But I'll always look between like maybe like what the title of a book is or so, and I'll look at the synopsis of it, like what is that book about? How is it going to be different from mine? But that's the thing though, like the upcoming books that I'm planning on writing is like I really had to take some time and had to really assess like, okay, well, if I do this, and well, if I do that, but then I was asking for like different opinions and everything, and then people like, well, there's a lot of different genres about this book and everything like that. So so like I kind of see kind of like where things are trying to like measure like where I'm going with the books, with the stories, how where like movies or games went with it, and I'll just take a completely different direction. Because with Erebus, like I said, it was like a little game that I was playing, and then I was like, okay, cool, and then it just went a completely different way. So whatever like ideas I may have at the time, just completely changed like altogether though. So it's not bad. Like I love it, I love. But the thing is too, like I love researching stuff too. So I love to research, what's going on in books, what's going on in movies or whatever stuff like that, and then just like little droplets of like information from like a book, movie, game, music, whatever, then I'll just like add that into like the way, with where I write the books and everything, and it just kind of like just works out and everything. And then I may be trying to go one way with the book, but then I'll turn around and go a completely different way, like altogether. And it's like never really. I mean, I have an idea. Like, oh, I want to start out this way, and it never goes that way. It always winds up to be something different and a lot better than what I originally thought it was. So that's how I usually do it. But I want to take the time to say thank you guys for really coming in here, joining me on tonight. I really appreciate that. I hope you guys have a great night tonight. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the week. I will be back on live on a Wednesday and Thursday night. I believe Wednesday is from 5:30 to 6, and I believe Thursday is from 7:30 to 8. So if you can, please join me and everything and ask more great questions. I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to ask me questions and everything. And I do hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Oh, and please check out Barnes & Nobles and Amazon.com for the book, for all my books and everything. Please tell your family, your friends. If I have the book and the books, if you may not like them, please give me another chance, because I have about anywhere from 30 to 50, but I think that number is growing exponentially now, how many books I want to write. But yeah, I have a whole lot more books coming, for you guys, science fiction type books, cyberpunk type books, everything. So keep on the lookout, and definitely anime books for like my anime lovers. So I just want you guys to have a great weekend. I hope you guys enjoy like the rest of the week. Have a good day. I hope you guys have a great weather, and please join me again. And you can find out all my information on Clarence Causby Books on Facebook and Clarence Causby Books on Instagram. All right. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys all. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate everything. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.